Hi, I'm Becky from Wild Violet Creative, and today we're going to be talking about the top 3 mistakes to avoid when taking your own headshot. That was good? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. So everybody has got a pretty good camera phone these days, and to be honest, it's good enough for you to take that quick little headshot. However, there are some things that some people aren't aware of that means that the headshot isn't as good as what it could be. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to talk through the top 3 mistakes of headshots that people do. Yeah, the top 3 mistakes to avoid when taking your headshot with your phone. There you go, I got there eventually. So let's go. So the first thing that we want to look for is a good light source. So as you can see here, I am standing in front of my living room window, and that means that I'm getting a nice even light source all over my face, and it's not causing any harsh shadows. So that's really the most important thing when you're looking for a light source. Now, if you look that I am going to turn more to this way, you can start to see that it's changing my face shape. And so sometimes it can help, but sometimes it can also make us look not like ourselves, let's put it that way. And then also, if we turn completely round, you can see that all of the focus is on behind me rather than my face, and it's not really bringing out any of my features at all. I've got a dog trying to join in. So we're going to turn around, and we're also going to consider the background as well. We don't want anything that's going to draw our attention away from us, although saying that, a headshot is usually going to be head and shoulders, so we're not going to have too much information back here anyway. So number 1 is light source. Make sure that it's big and even. It's not too harsh, so you don't want direct sunshine. Pixie. So you don't want direct sunshine on your face either, because it's again going to cause those harsh shadows, and also it's going to make you squint, and nobody wants a squinty photo of themselves. So out in front of a window is usually quite nice, especially if it's maybe a bit of a cloudy day, or maybe it's a bit earlier in the morning or later in the evening. I hope you're enjoying this. So that's the first one. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, so the next is camera angles. So if you're just using your phone, you might be fancy, you might have a tripod that you can set it up on, which is great because then you can kind of lower it and you can step back and see where it is. I'm just using my arm, as you can probably tell. And so camera angles is really, really important as well, because again, it can completely change your face shape. As you can see, as I go lower down, it's going to show kind of my chin, and Pixie wants to get in on it too, but it's going to show more of my chin. Even more so if I bring it down here. I don't know why anybody would take a photo like this, but just in case. And then equally, if you are a millennial like me, you might be really, really used to the MySpace pose, where you bring it up. You can see the mess of my living room. And again, that completely changes face shape. And then also with this light source, it's showing like the bags under my eyes a bit more. So what we want to do is we want to either be kind of straight on at eye level, or ever so slightly, not down here, ever so slightly further down and tilting up. But I would say definitely more eye line is that. And then have a play with which side of the face you like. So in terms of, rather than actually camera angles, of where you're angling. So you could go straight on like this. You can do a bit more of a old school kind of school portrait of going to the side and throw it like that. You could have like this. So have a play. It's all about what makes you feel good, and what makes you feel good about yourself as well. Okay, so then finally on to the next one. So this time, as you can see, that rather than me filming on the video on my camera, is that I'm actually screen recording my actual camera. And the reason for that is that the next one I want you to consider is about how you actually use the camera and the settings. So what we're going to talk about is the front camera and the back camera. I'm sure you might be aware that when you got your phone, you saw the megapixels depending on whether it's the rear camera or the front camera. So the front camera is not as high quality as the back camera. So if you're feeling confident, you might want to switch to the back camera. The only thing is that obviously that you can't see yourself whilst you're doing this. So I've switched to the back camera and I'm kind of hoping that I have got myself in frame. I'm kind of going off the reflection off the back of my phone case. But hopefully you'll be able to see that it's a lot better quality. But obviously it's going to be a bit more difficult to take the photos because you're kind of going to be on self-timer and you're going to be running back and forth and hoping that you've got yourself in frame, or you're just going to hope that you're kind of randomly pressing the button, or trying to, if I go this, I can use the volume button as well on my phone. I'm hoping that actually took a photo. I'm not sure which volume button it is. So I'm going to switch back to front facing just to be able to show you now. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to choose. The second thing that I highly recommend is about you zooming in with your camera. So you may be able to do this with the front camera. Mine, I can go to a little bit closer to 1.4, and then obviously on the back camera that you can. Now, the reason why I'm saying about zooming in is because at the normal kind of distance that your camera is, it's going to distort your face. It's not going to reflect your face being like the kind of proportions that it actually is, because if I bring it out here, you can see that it's getting all of this information around me, and as I bring it closer, it's kind of got a very slight kind of fisheye kind of thing, whereas if I zoom in a bit more, it doesn't get rid of it completely, but on a phone it's going to be better. Is if you zoom in a bit more, then it's kind of gonna, I'm trying to explain this without going into too technical, it's going to bring your face into a bit more proportion, and it's going to actually go, yes, that's the size of your nose, not like this one, where I'm probably like kind of the same kind of framing, but my nose looks absolutely massive in comparison to here, where it's the same framing and it looks the same. Okay, then lastly is portrait mode. So I don't mind portrait mode. I think it's quite good, especially if you've got a busy background that you can't really kind of hide. The one thing I would just say about it is just making sure that it's not going to edit your face too much. It's really, really obvious, and I think social media is all about being authentic, and I just don't think having all of your features kind of wiped clean is and wiped away is going to help. So I've got portrait mode on my camera, and it doesn't show until I've actually taken the photo. So let me take a few photos and then we can look at them, look at the difference. Okay, and we'll actually look at the difference between the front camera and the back camera as well. So let's have a look, shall we? Oh, that's a bit too close, but you get the gist. You can see, hopefully, it's not too much. Also, look at the camera. That's one thing that I've done wrong, is look at the camera, not at yourself. Okay, you can see, oh, what's going on? There we go. Yeah, so you can see a few more details using the rear camera in comparison to using the front. It's kind of softened them up a little bit. That might be my settings of having subtle retouching. But then also you can see with the background, it's completely blurred that out. So you can see here with the back camera is that you can still see some of the background, whereas with these ones it's not there at all, although those ones are a bit close, but that's because I have short arms. So those are my slightly chaotic with all of the animals, but my top 3 mistakes to avoid when you're taking your own headshots with a phone camera. If you give it a go and you need any help, please feel free to just drop me a message and I can see how I can help you. Or even more so, if you want to have your own headshot session, then please just send me a message. All right, and oh, Pixie's just arrived. Oh. And so we'll say goodbye. Thank you for watching.